All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tanya Sheldon, and I am so excited that I get to be with you tonight. I am with one of my dear friends and someone that is also a teammate to me, and she is going to share some phenomenal education with you tonight about cellular health and gut health and how important that is for the body. This Everything that we are going to teach you tonight is through a company called LifeVantage. But the foundation of what it is it's just all universal for everyone. But I have been a part of this company, LifeVantage, for over 14 years now. It has been something that has completely changed my life, my husband's life, my family's life, holistically, all the way around. And I am so grateful that I learned about cellular activation 14 years ago. And I am so grateful that I now am learning more about the gut and just how much it affects our overall health and how foundational it is. And Gloria Brinker, to me, I don't think there's anyone better in the world that could teach you about gut health than Gloria. Gloria Brinker is someone that I am so grateful to have in my corner. I am so grateful to know anytime something is maybe going a little haywire in our life health wise, she is the one I go to because she is such a researcher. And I'm telling you, 99% of the time, she's always taking it back to the gut. So I'm going to tell you about Gloria and we're going to get going. But she's been an advocate for gut health for as long as I've known her. She's always said it all starts in the gut. And she started her career in occupational therapy. Soon she became the director of rehab and wellness at a covenant of retired sisters. She learned firsthand the positive effects natural health, diet, emotional, and spiritual health had in rehabilitation outcomes. After 5 years, Gloria felt compelled to continue her studies and is presently certified in natural health as a functional nutritional consultant and metabolic specialist. Gloria is also certified in massage reflexology. With her clients, she focuses on the functional health of the cells, which help our bodies not to just survive, but also to thrive. So, Gloria, thank you so much for saying yes to tonight and just cannot wait to hear from you. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And so I'm excited. I'm so excited that LifeVantage has brought a gut health product into the whole repertoire. And Tanya has shared that a little bit with you. You can ask anyone else. I've always said the only thing I'm reaching out besides LifeVantage is for gut health, is for gut health, is for gut health. But what I will share with you, and so we'll talk about the history of LifeVantage. We'll talk about many other things as well. But this gut health product, I was already doing gut health stuff for years and years and years using products outside of LifeVantage. But this one has, I think, brought my gut and many other people's gut like to the next level. And so I learned a lot at the convention. I had a brief conversation with Kelly Olson as well, who's he was the product developer of the product that we're going to talk about. But anyway, so first of all, here we are. We're going to improve your health and improve your life because if we don't have our health, we have sometimes many struggle at our life, okay? And so first and foremost, I want to remind everyone to whoever invited you to this meeting, please have them connect you up to our Facebook testimonial pages. These are just phenomenal. This one is Live Life Activated and then otherwise Vitality Living. And that just has some great testimonials on it. There's little search bars in there. You can search for different things that you might have going on and then see how these products have helped other people with many of those same conditions, okay? We're going to do a lot of science tonight, not a lot of testimonials, but these are great pages for people to be referred to for them, okay? The other thing that I want to remind everybody is that every person's body is different. So even if you're reading those testimonials, if we would talk about anything or other people have invited you, that you hear other people's testimonials, just please remember that every person's body is different. It's called bioindividuality. And in my studies and in my work being certified as a functional nutritional consultant, that's what they have always said. Just remember that everybody is different. And that's why we don't all fit in a textbook. We have to remember that our symptoms, everything, it doesn't always fit in a textbook. And every lifestyle is different. People's genetics are different. People's stressors are different. And to be quite honest, In my practice, I see it all the time. With my family, with my friends, I see it all the time. Everyone's commitment to health is very different. Some people, you tell them what to do and they don't segue at all. And other people know that weddings and graduation parties, things like that get in the way, and then they're not as committed as everyone else either. LifeVantage does not treat diseases, but we really focus on activating and assisting the body in working how it's supposed to be working. So the reality is that we live in a hijacked environment, and there's lots of pictures here that will say where things are really disrupted in our world and how and why we get a lot of trillions of free radicals in the body. And free radicals in the body are really, I mean, from a chemical standpoint, a cell that lacks an electron, and it's seeking to have a balanced cell with a balanced electron. And many times it will rob a part of a cell from a healthy cell in order for this free radical to become healthy and balanced so that it can continue to survive. And so a lot of things, the pollutants in our air, our car exhaust, the foods that we choose, sprays in our foods, medication, lots of things, are disrupting, and those are called free radicals. And the reality is that we really want to eliminate as many of those free radicals as we can and really neutralize them. Now, how that happens is through antioxidants. Many, many years, lots and lots of scientific research has been done on how antioxidants neutralize free radicals. And most of those antioxidants can be coming in through fruits and vegetables, but can also be coming in through like whole nuts and seeds and those kinds of things. But the real key for us is to understand antioxidants. Now, I'm also going to refer to this here phrase called oxidative stress. And really what that is understanding the balance of the three free radicals versus the antioxidants. And when those kind of things become out of balance, then we can have high levels of oxidative stress. So when we have too many of the free radicals going on in the body and not enough antioxidants, then we have this condition known as oxidative stress. And the more free radicals we have within the body, the higher levels of oxidative stress, again, it's that balance, the more damage to the cells that we have. And it doesn't matter what cell it is, if it's a brain cell, a muscle cell, a nerve cell, a stomach cell, a liver cell, whatever it is, the higher the oxidative stress level is, the more free radicals in proportion to the amount of antioxidants causes more damage to the cell. And just the opposite is true. When oxidative stress levels decline, then that means there's more antioxidants than free radicals. And then we have less damage to our cells of our body. And that's really the key with all of that. So where did the LifeVantage story begin? It all began with this understanding of antioxidants within the body. Okay, so healthcare professionals have known for years that eating high foods and antioxidants or taking antioxidant supplements were making people feel better. And a lot of them are listed there. Okay, and so, but the real question kind of there was a question came up with this medical researcher. His name was Dr. Joe McCord in like the 1980s and what he needed to really understand and do some scientific research on. And this is an incredible, incredible discovery and an incredible story. But we had to find out is our own body, does it have the capability of making its own antioxidants? And that was a huge thing. We knew antioxidants for years and years were great and awesome and good, but does our body have the capability to do it? Because quite honestly, if many things that the plant has the capability to do, the body has the capability to do. And one of those things would be to make vitamin D. We know that the plant takes up minerals from the soil, absorbs sunlight, and through the chlorophyll that's kind of like in the plant, it manufactures vitamin D. That's why we can take vitamin D plant-based supplements because the plant is making it. The same thing happens to us. We eat minerals, some vitamins. We absorb sunlight through our skin, through our eyes, and our body manufactures vitamin D. So it's not an uncommon phenomenon to be happening. And so his job was to find out, does the human body have the capability of making its own antioxidants? And actually, he discovered that yes, that it actually did. Well, then his next thing that he had to discover was how does this actually happen? And so once again, this was an incredible discovery. He found yes. Well, how he found that it actually happens is through a cellular protein called nuclear factor erythroid number 2. Now we call it NRF2 for short because not enough people can say that. But what he found is when our bodies make its own antioxidants, it's a million times more powerful than foods and supplements. So that was an incredible, incredible discovery. And this was in the 1980s. He even believed at that time that the amount of toxins that were in our air and our food and our water, and in regards to the oxidative stress levels, that the amount of toxin that we were taking into our bodies, food and supplements were not enough to keep those oxidative stress levels low. So because he's a medical research, he had to find out how can we activate this nerve 2 pathway because he found the connection between the two of it. And what he actually did is he contacted three different pharmaceutical companies and they wrote him back and said, "I'm sorry, we can't turn on that pathway. The side effects of are too great." And so then an herbal company out of California contacted Dr. Joe McCord in Colorado and they said, "We have some herbs that are nerve 2 activators." And so what they did is they sent him a list of 62 herbs. He said he immediately eliminated about 40 of them, and he was left with 22 herbs. And over the cross parts of that 1980s, all the way until like 2003, he formulated and reformulated and reformulated, and he discovered that there were five herbs that he could put together. He called it Protandem, but it was able to actually decrease oxidative stress levels in 100% of the people tested. And he tested a 20-year-old all the way to a 79-year-old. And so again, that was an incredible, incredible discovery. So what's actually in this product? What are those five things that he put together? And these are the ones that they are. It's green tea, ashwagandha, turmeric, bacopa, and milk thistle. And this nutrigenomics is a theory that is out there where it's like, if how can we affect the genome of our body? And that's where it comes in. And we can affect it by nutraceuticals. That's what they're called when we're putting nutrients into the body. But once again, it decreased those oxidative stress markers in the body by 40% in 30 days in 100% of the people tested. And so remember when it was like, can our bodies manufacture its own antioxidants? Well, these are three main antioxidants that are found in plants and also found in the body, but it's glutathione, catalase, and SOD. And so it activates many other antioxidants in the body, but these are really the main ones, especially that glutathione. It's like the master antioxidant that neutralizes lots and lots of things that are not supposed to be in the body. What he also did is he went ahead and he tested these herbs independently. And so, as you can see on the chart that's there, the ashwagandha, the bacopa, the green tea, the milk thistle, and the turmeric root, he tested all of them. They did not make that much of an impression on decreasing the toxic load on the body. But when he combined all of them together, this is the synergistic effect. And as you can see, it increased it by 18 times. That's why it can turn on that glutathione, that catalase, and that SOD. So once again, many people will tell me that they're already doing green tea or they're doing turmeric root and things. Well, they're doing them individually, but there is something that happens when he synergistically mixed these together and had people take them, and it had these profound effects on the body. Okay. Then in 2005, John Kiwanis, who is an ABC investigative reporter, contacted Dr. Joe McCord, and he's like, "Hey, I heard that you're doing all these things. I want to come and do an investigative report on you." Now, if you have not watched this, we're not going to watch it tonight, but I encourage you to reach out to the person who connected you here and really, really watch this because it's quite the phenomenal little investigative report that was done. But what had happened is that John Kiwanis, he actually decreased his own oxidative stress markers in the body by 45% in 2 weeks. Now, once again, the average is that 40% in 30 days, okay, in a month's time. But here is really, this is just a phenomenal report that you can watch. So make sure that you go and watch that, okay? So these are actually the things that says what can actually happen. And some on that investigative report, they have a couple different scientists on there, and they're talking about what oxidative stress is. Now, it's not a disease in and of itself. But what it does is anytime we have higher toxic load in the body than we have the antioxidants within it, I call it, it makes it a dirty cell. And a dirty cell can't function. And as you can see, there's conditions related to skin, kidneys, joints, lungs, brain, heart, eyes, all these kinds of things. Because I mean, if you can just get the basic of anything, it's that a cell that is dirty can't function well. And the protandim NRF2 actually helps to decrease the toxic load on the body through the pathway of increasing our body's own natural antioxidants. And so there were a lot of, after that report was done, there was a lot of universities and hospitals that contacted Dr. Joe McCord and said, yo, we want to be doing some investigation or even some research on these products. And so you can find many of the research articles on pubmed.gov, and there are quite a number on there specifically about Protandim. And you can always, otherwise, if you're wondering about a certain condition that's going on, go to pubmed.gov and research whatever that ailment or condition is that you're looking at and comparing it to oxidative stress. And then you know that getting your cells cleaner could probably make an impression on the things that you're dealing with. So, what happened after that ABC investigative report? Because of all the major universities and hospitals that were contacting them, Dr. Joe McCord received $5 million in orders in just 45 days that people wanted this Protandim. The problem was that they only had 6 employees, no marketing team, and they were not mass producing this at all. And so they began producing it. They ramped up the production of it and they put it in retail stores. And as you know, there's different companies that can either go wholesale to retail or it can do direct selling. But anyway, the wholesale to retail, on average across the United States, they only sold a half a bottle per store per month. And so it was like this was not working very well at all. So Dr. Joe McCord called in some consultants. One of the consultants recommended that they switch from retail over to direct selling. He wasn't all that like supportive of it initially, but what they did is they did send out, I believe it was like 15 consultants to have them go out and inform people, educated people in NRF2, oxidative stress, antioxidants, and with a 6-month time frame, the direct selling outsold the stores by 350%. And so then at that point, that's when LifeVantage moved from retail stores and went into direct selling. And that was in 2009. Okay. In 1 year, this grew from a $2 million company all the way up to a $10 million in sales company. And presently, LifeVantage has expanded into many, many worldwide markets. And so you can find it in many different countries as well beyond the United States. These are some of the major universities and hospitals that requested that they would be able to begin studying Protandim. And so it's amazing that they all did. And you can, look at individually, they all have their own little specialized thing that they were trying to test Protandim against. But one of the studies that was actually done was in 2015 by Washington State University. And what they said at that time was that Protandim NRF2 might become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Now, what that means, extraordinary therapeutic, means for conditions that people already have. And of course, preventative is like if we keep our cells cleaner, maybe they won't go into malfunction. And so it was amazing that all of these major universities and hospitals wanted to actually study this. So Protandim NRF2, I believe, is like the main thing that everyone needs to start at. So right then in 2009, like I said, that's where LifeVantage began. There's a lot of great things about LifeVantage. We're financially very transparent because we are sold on the NASDAQ. We're highly recognized. We have a legacy program, so we are always trying to give some of our dollars and money back. And also, many times people stay with a job maybe that they're not as comfortable with, but they're looking for a direct selling company. Well, LifeVantage just this last year added healthcare as a benefit to any consultants who come on. So that's really a phenomenal thing. And I just had 2 consultants just check into that this last week. So it's a very, very good thing. But LifeVantage is considered the activation company because we want to activate normal functional processes within the body. And that's exactly what we do. So here's a timeline of the activators of when they occurred. And so it's, 2003, 2009 is when it actually bumped up into that other, the direct selling company. 2016, we brought on a Protandim NRF1. 19, we brought on Protandim NAD. 2022, we brought on an activated collagen. 2024 and 25, we brought in activated gut health. And so I'm going to briefly talk about a lot of these things this evening, okay? Oh, come on, what's happening? Okay, so we already have talked a lot about this protandim NRF1, because it really, really helps with activating our cells to neutralize those free radicals through antioxidants. Okay, and this is the theory, this is one of the theories of a healthy cell, decreasing that oxidative stress through protandim NRF2. And we already talked about that. These are the ingredients of it, and then these are the benefits of it, where it really, really decreases that toxic load on the body by 40% in 30 days. And so then because of that, it supports the body's natural ability to repair and rejuvenate its own cells. And it helps the body to detoxify and regulate just the survival genes. Okay, so it's really just keeping the cell clean. Protandim NRF1 actually has more to do with the mitochondria. And mitochondria are little organelles inside the cells of the body. And what their responsibility is to convert food into cellular energy. And cellular energy is called ATP. And so because it more has to do almost like the electrical component or the energetic component of the cell, on the right-hand side are a lot of disease and disease conditions that can happen when a person has mitochondrial dysfunction. But it really is saying, like, if it's the muscle cell, if it's the bone cell, if it's the nerve cell, it doesn't have the energy from within it to actually function. And that's why, like I said, all these disease and disease conditions really are attributed to mitochondrial dysfunction. So this is the second theory of healthy cells, is to try to increase the mitochondrial function. And we can help that with this protandim NRF1. And again, it's the pathway. The NRF1 is the nuclear factor erythroid number 1 pathway. And this is where the mitochondria is. These are the ingredients of it. Is 5 ingredients. I'm just going to segue a little bit here. This is why I love when LifeVantage puts low dose nutraceuticals into a combination, because many times if somebody takes a high dose of a certain individual supplement, it can sometimes put the body out of balance. So I love it when we have all these micro ingredients together in one, and that slow, calm healing. That's always we want. We want slow, calm healing within the body, not the super healing by ramping up the cell by over supplementation. And so once again, just simply 5 ingredients. And these are the benefits of this, because it's activating the mitochondria within the cell. It's correcting the energy from inside the cell out. So again, nerf 1 or nerf 2 helps to clean the cell from the inside one. This helps to energize the cell from the inside out. And because of that, it can help to slow down cellular aging. It can improve sleep quality and cellular repair, supports cognitive and brain health, and of course, circulatory and cardiovascular health. Everything that's going on within the body, we need to have the energy from inside the body to actually help the body do what it's going to be doing. Okay. Then we have Protandim NAD. Now, if you want to compare this to anything, it would be the energy that you feel when you do restrictive eating, or like fat, when you do fasting within the body, intermittent fasting. And so restrictive eating, or even getting the body into ketogenesis or slight ketosis. And that really what it does is it activates these longevity genes. And the main thing that it does is activates the sirtuin activity. And the sirtuin activity is the exfoliators that help the body to exfoliate damaged parts of the cell. So once again, NRF2 helps with that, getting the environmental toxins out. NRF1 helps with the energy from the inside out. And this NAD actually helps with cellular exfoliation and cellular organization. And of course, we all need organization, but these are the things that NAD is actually used for in the circle on the right-hand side. But it's a lot of neurodegenerative, metabolic things and cardiovascular things that really NAD definitely helps with. So this is the third theory of a healthy cell, is to increase the sirtuin activity, increase that natural exfoliators within the body. Once again, 5 ingredients in it, 5 ingredients at lower doses to really help with that calm activation of the cell. And the main thing that I love about this is that it's called autophagy, where it said it supports the healthy longevity and the removal of cellular waste. That's called autophagy. Our bodies themselves needs to be exfoliated. Our external skin needs to be exfoliated and the inside cells of the body needs to be exfoliated. And that's the main thing that it does. Now, because of that, it can improve mental focus and concentration, help with your mood and your motivation, supports the body's natural healthy inflammatory response, maintains existing healthy cholesterol levels, and supports overall cardiovascular health. So it's very good. This one, of course, was launched in 2019. Okay. Now, if anybody has read this book called Good Energy, I have great respect for Dr. Casey Means. I have her book. It's really, really good. And she, on the right-hand side, in this book, it says, what if depression, anxiety, infertility, insomnia, heart disease, erectile dysfunction, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, cancer, and many other conditions that torture or shorten our lives actually have the same cause? And she says the truth is that they do. And they're all about the metabolic function of our cells. Now, last fall, about a year ago, she actually presented before the in Washington, D.C. And this is what she had to say about it. I think this is profound in how it relates to our LifeVantage products. Let's go back one here.
Appropriately. According to the American College of Cardiology, metabolic dysfunction now affects 93.2% of American adults. This is quite literally the cellular draining of our life force. This process is the result of three processes happening inside our cells: mitochondrial dysfunction, a process called oxidative stress, which is like a wildfire inside our cells, and chronic inflammation throughout the body and the gut, as we've heard about. Metabolic dysfunction is largely not a genetic issue. It's caused by toxic American ultra-processed industrial food, toxic American chemicals, toxic American medications, and our toxic sedentary indoor lifestyles. You would think that the American healthcare system and our government agencies would be clamoring to fix metabolic health and reduce American suffering and costs, but they're not. They are deafeningly silent.
So I think that is just like so profound because she's a very reputable doctor. And what she is saying is this the metabolic dysfunction that's going on in our bodies. And what I love knowing about these three products, the Protandim NRF1, she said oxidative stress. Protandim NRF1 is proven to reduce oxidative stress in the body. Protandim NRF2 with oxidative stress. Protandim NRF1 helps with that mitochondrial dysfunction. That's what she's talking about as well. And then the Protandim NAD, because it goes in and it's autophagy and it's cleaning the cells out, it can prevent chronic cellular inflammation. And all of three of these together are called the trisynergizer. And I think it's just amazing. It matches up exactly what she's saying is at the core of so many of these diseases. And here we have it with LifeVantage with the trisynergizer. I just think it's awesome. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the next cellular activator that came in 2022, okay? This is True Science Liquid Collagen. It activates the collagen that like through a process of some of the cellular activities that are in it. It helps our body to make more of its own collagen. It also replenishes 10 different types of collagen that can be degrading within our body. And then it has ingredients that helps our body to maintain the collagen that it has. Now, what's amazing as well is within this, it actually increased collagen density by 42% in only 8 weeks. When liquid collagen is combined with NRF2, it increases collagen density by 100%, not just 42%, by that 100%. And in only that 8-week time frame. It's like phenomenal. Now, how it activates it is through ruby red quinoa extract. Many of us have heard of quinoa. What it actually does is activates those genes within the body to boost the body's natural ability to make more of its own collagen. Now, it also, once again, activates the SOD gene and the catalase gene. It increases that type 1 collagen, that's the density of the skin, by that 42%, okay? And then it also downgrades or deregulates a little bit of one of the genes that takes our collagen away. So it's almost like getting rid of some of that inflammatory kind of thing as well. But this is how it activates it. Now, how does it replenish it? It replenishes it through these hydrolyzed marine collagen peptides. It contains 5,000 milligrams of it. But the most important thing is that it actually contains 10 different types of collagen. Most of the other collagens that are around only provide or replenish the body with one or two, maybe three types of collagen. But this collagen is 10 different types of collagen. It comes in a liquid form, and so it's 90% absorbable. Many other collagens that are on the market are only like 10 to 30% absorbable. So sometimes when people are concerned of the cost of this, I say if it's 90% absorbable, even if you take a half a dose or a third of a dose, you're still going to be getting more collagens and more types of collagens in the body than a powdered collagen can ever provide you. So that's what's amazing about this one. Then how does it help us to maintain collagen? Now we know that biotin and vitamin C are one of the main things that really helps our body to maintain collagen. If you ever see vitamin C and biotin on a container, just that without any food ingredients listed, it's probably a synthetic version of biotin and a synthetic version of the vitamin C. And so, and the synthetic version of biotin can cause other cellular kind of disruptors that I won't even go into. But this one has the citrus berry extract. So it's this blueberry, this young pumpkin fruit, and the Aresola berry as well. These are naturally vitamin C and antioxidants to help to promote that collagen and that elastin, and really, really helps to us to maintain our collagen. So the collagen is just phenomenal. These are some of the results of what people are getting when they are looking at collagen: elasticity, discoloration, things like that. So now we're going to move into the thing that I, of course, I'm very excited about, okay, are these gut activators. And so we have two powerful gut activators. I get many questions on what is the difference of them, and I really want to try to explain them to you. Can you safely do both of them at the same time? Of course you can. You can. I'm doing both of them right now, okay? So you don't have to choose one or the other, but you can look at which one is for your own health goals, which one is more of a priority for you, okay? So in 2024, last year, Mind Body Core and Mind Body Enhance was brought on, okay? The main area of the body, or the main area of the digestive system where this activates is in the duodenum, which is, some people call it the lower part of the stomach. Some people call it the first part of the small intestine. Okay. But that is really where this is more active or more activated within the body, in that duodenal area of the body. It activates mostly through the L cells and the K cells. Those are the cells that are in the duodenal area. Okay. And this is where neurotransmitters and hormones are released from the body to connect the information. Now, this is so important, the information between the food that we eat and our brain, the food that we eat and the liver, and the food that we eat and the pancreas. So right in there, when we're eating our foods, grinding them all up, it drops to that duodenal area. And at that point, these hormones and these neurotransmitters need to tell the brain what you just ate, need to tell the brain how much you just ate, okay? And tell the brain, like, I've had enough carbs, I've had enough protein, all that kind of thing. That has to happen between the gut and the brain. Most people think that it's more the brain to the gut, but 80% of the neurological communication that happens is from the gut to the brain, not from the brain down to the gut. So our gut really has to tell the brain and give the brain some direction within that, okay? Then the other thing is that the duodenum over to the liver. And so what's important about that is because the liver and the gallbladder have to be prepared, kind of, is like how much fat is coming down, because the liver really helps with fat. The gallbladder also helps with squirting some bile across the food that we just ate. But it has to know that it's coming, okay? And so that's where that communication has to happen. And then also between that area and the pancreas, because the pancreas, of course, is responsible for releasing enzymes into the gut in order to be able to digest our foods better. But then also it has to trigger some insulin in the amount of the carbohydrates that we just ate. So if we are eating a low dose of carbs, but the pancreas doesn't get that message, it might put out more insulin than the body actually needs. So it's all about communication. That middle of the gut, that duodenal, is all about the communication, okay? When this information is correct, we can have more control of our appetite, because the stomach is telling the brain stop putting food in your mouth because I've had enough, okay? It can have more balanced blood sugars because once again, the duodenum is telling the pancreas like how much insulin to release. And then just other emotional eatings. So it can really, really help to balance that all out. Now, it also activates one of the hormones in that duodenal area that it activates is GLP-1 within there. And that's a lot of the study that's out there with the GLP-1 and how we want to activate that. But the main thing is it's correcting the communication. When it corrects the communication, many people have more control of their appetite, their blood sugars, the emotional eating, all that. And so the gut is more calm, the brain is more calm, and people can make wiser and wiser food decisions and not have these blood sugar spikes. Within that, that is how it encourages and helps the body to release fat stores because of that process within the body. Okay. The other gut activator that was just launched this way more activates the entire digestive system. So it's not just the duodenal area, it's the entire digestive system. This product is called P84. And what it really does is, like I said, activates the different parts of the digestive system, all the way from the stomach, all the way to the rectum. And the gut is involved in so many different areas of the body. And so its main job is to absorb nutrients for all of the cells of the body and to get rid of waste for all the cells of the body, okay? But it also plays a role in this communication throughout the entire body as well. The gut body connection is like no other system that you will ever understand or find, okay? Now, these two, Phytopower 1 and Phytopower 2, you mix them together and drink them down, but it is proven to activate 14 or more different gut peptides in the digestive tract. And that's amazing because the peptides really are responsible for healing and function within the digestive tract. So it's quite amazing what this all does, okay? The mind body core, okay? This is, I'm trying to read here what I have on here. Okay, preservatives in our food and nut and seeds, sugar, alcohols, and too many carbohydrates cause the small intestine or that duodenal area not to work or communicate, okay, about the type and the amount of food. And so this mind body core activates on cleaning and activating these gut hormones, okay, increases it by that much. The results of it is that it is 95% decrease in sugar cravings, 87% decrease food, salt, and soda cravings and felt less overall hungry, and 89% ate less meals. And so this is why, because of those three things and how it happens in the body, people can actually lose weight when they're taking this correctly. And so, but 100% of the people who lost weight did not lose muscle, okay? And some of them actually had an increase of 6% in muscle mass. And whenever you're looking at weight loss, you don't want to lose bone and muscle mass, okay? You want to maintain all that because we need that as well, okay? These are some of the results with that GLP-1 activator as well. So we're going to go to this P84. And again, once again, it's proven that it activates 14 specific gut peptides. And those peptides, again, are responsible for regulating, repair, and restoring the entire digestive system from the stomach all the way to the rectum. Okay. Most people think that the gut microbiome is just about taking a probiotic, but it's so much more than that. Okay. And these are the regulators on the left-hand side of what it increases. Okay. There's actually, as you see, 6 of those. The repairers are in the center there. Now, what I want you to pay attention to with these repairers is that the middle one there, it says it actually decreases it by 19%. Now, sometimes you think we always want to ramp things up and activate them, but not really. This is really the one that causes intestinal inflammation. And so when the microbiome is more balanced, the inflammatory markers will go down. They should go down. And that is represented with this here one that says 19% down because that's what it's all about. Then the restorers. And so I want you to look at where it says mucin 2. Remember that is what our stomach needs is mucin in order to be able to digest our foods properly, in order to make a betaine HCl, in order to make intrinsic factor, which is helps our body to get vitamin B into the body. And then also it's pepsin. And so the pepsin and the HCl are what activate and help to break proteins apart And so that those are the main things, but it has to in the mucin. And so when people have a stomach issue going on, then we can see that some of these peptides actually activate that part of it as well. Okay, and the other repairs are there. Alrighty. So we're going to take a little journey through the digestive system. Of course, we know it's the mouth and the esophagus, the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and things like that. But then also the side things are the gallbladder and the pancreas, the spleen, the liver, areas like that. Okay. But 2,500 years ago is when Hippocrates had said that all disease starts in the gut. And I believe it because I see it in my practice all the time. These are the main functions of the digestive system. And like Tanya had said, and I've said, I've worked with the digestive system like for years. I mean, for 20 years, I've been trying to help people with the digestive system. And what I would recommend to them for the stomach is digestive enzymes and HCl. In the small intestine, probiotics, and sometimes different types of probiotics, depending to see what they got going on. Fiber and prebiotics, many times for the small and the large intestine, and postbiotics and for the overall immune system of the digestive system. That is what I would always recommend to people to be really working on those kinds of things. And did it work when we encouraged that part of the body? Yes, it definitely did work. But at the convention, I learned about this overall gut microbiome, even in more detail. I always knew it, but maybe not that it's the complete ecosystem. And so on the right-hand side, there's Steve Fife as our CEO of LifeVantage, and then Kelly Olson is the formulator of this P84. Okay. And when I had a brief conversation with him, he's like, we have to remember that our body and our gut is a complete ecosystem. Okay. Where everything is best if it's happening at the same time. But what he really wanted to do, and he was formulating all of this, is keeping it simple, keeping it effective, and keeping it proven. And he just simply said that he wants to continue to live life so he can be the husband that his wife married. And that's really what we all want. We want calm, healing within our body so that we can live the life that we need to live, okay? So, once again, the gut is a true ecosystem. Things must be diverse, it must be healthy, and it must be balanced. And that's the main thing that I really learned with them. Some other thing that I learned is that the microbiome changes for sometimes every 24 minutes. Some people hours, some people days, some people months. An example of something happening, the immune system, the microbiome of the immune system even changing is if somebody has an allergy to a cat and you walk into a house and immediately your nose starts running, starts to swell up, that's your microbiome trying to correct it. Microbiome of your sinuses trying to help you to not get those cat danders into the body. So that's why it can change very rapidly. And because of this, we need activation before supplementing for the symptoms of it. Activation helps to just keep the overall function of the body working very well. So once again, it's a complete ecosystem. Okay. Now I'm going to start from the top down, like I explained a little bit before. But the stomach, oops, sorry, I have a little typo in there. But the stomach actually digests our food. You take it in, it grinds it up into smaller and smaller pieces. That food is supposed to be all ground up to the small intestine. And the small intestine, through the hormones and the neurotransmitters, once again has to tell the body, the brain, the liver, the pancreas, what just came down. Then after that, it passes on to the large intestine. Okay, other processes happening, but then it really passes on to the large intestine. Now, in my research, this was something new that I kind of learned is how much the large intestine actually regulates things. The large intestine, there's so much information in that large intestine. It's not just a storage house for your feces at all, okay? It has to regulate how many hormones leave the body and how many hormones stay in the body. How many of the vitamins and minerals leave the body and how much stays in the body. And that has to happen within there. So people that sometimes have hormone issues going on, I wish that they would reach out to fix their gut first and then turn to hormone replacement therapy. Okay, because if that large intestine, the microbiome of the large intestine is so healthy and good, it can help to keep hormones in or release hormones so that we don't get those big hormone fluctuations. If we can get that microbiome, I always think that's a first place to start before a lot of the hormone replacement therapies. Give your own body a chance to regulate it on its own, okay? But what also happens, remember, it's a complete ecosystem. So we need all of the food ingredients and that communication, all that kind of stuff to get all the way down. And the microbiome is what really happens to all the functions to happen. But then the opposite thing is true as well. The microbiome is what helps our body to make peptides. And remember, peptides are the cells that our body needs for function and for healing. So large intestine peptides helped the small intestines to make their neurotransmitters that they need. Small intestine peptides help the stomach to make the mucin that it needs to digest our foods. And so that's why this is a whole system. So we need from the top down to work, but then we also need from the bottom up to work. And that's why this P84 is so incredible because it gives the body the food and the diversity of what it needs to have all of those processes happening at the same time. Because it's not at step 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all of it has to be happening at the same time. So there are two different packets. It's a P1 and a P2 phytopower. And the first one helps to feed and diversify all of that. It has powerful digestive enzymes in it and really to diversify that gut microbiome. And then on the other packet is to detoxify and really balance that. So it keeps that microbiome clean, gets rid of those harmful toxins, and promotes that beneficial bacteria so that both of them can work together. Now the question is, why does it come in two packets if we mix it together and put it in the same thing of water? And the reason is because the enzymes that are in the Phytopower 1 potentially can kill off some of the probiotics that are in Phytopower 2. Now, one activates the other, but if you have them mixed ahead of time, it's going to activate and utilize the power up. And so we want that to be happening just before we take it into our bodies. Okay. Same kind of thing that happens when people want to be eating yogurt and fruit. I highly discourage people from buying the fruit already in the yogurt. You buy your yogurt and you buy your fruit, because the probiotics in the yogurt eat up the prebiotics in the fruit. And if you buy it already, that activation is already done, and the probiotics have already eaten up all the fruit for their food. And so you want to be doing it separately. Buy it and put it on your fruit and then ingest it at that time. And so that same theory is why this comes in two different packets, okay? This is why P84 is better probably than anything else because it has all of the things in it, the phyto nutrients, the probiotics, the prebiotics, the enzymes, the fermented foods, the superfoods, the postbiotics, all of it. And what we've learned is that the gut has these axes. We many times hear about the gut-brain axis, but look at all of the other axes that the body actually has, that this microbiome, this gut microbiome definitely affects it dramatically, all areas of the body. Okay, what's in here? There is a variety of things in here. The whole foods, the botanical blends, and then the and the pre and the postbiotics. So this has so much stuff in it. And if you look even in the fermentation assisted blend, it has inulin that comes from chicory root. It has this plum ferment. It has kombucha in it. And I can't pronounce the last one, but it's in there too, okay? Because I don't know how to pronounce that one. Okay. But anyway, but everything that's in there, it really is the food that the entire gut needs all at the same time. So that's why it's very powerful. These are the enzymes that it contains: the amylase, the lactase, the papain and the bromelain, the lipase and the cellulase. And on the left-hand side, this is why it's so powerful because it's helping the body to digest all of those things. We all know and understand that all food sensitivities come because our body doesn't have the tools it needs to break down the foods that it's taking in. All food sensitivities come from that, okay? So this is just powerful and how it can help to break down all those foods. So how do you use this? I explained this a little bit before. Phytopower 1, Phytopower 2, you open them up, put them in the same glass of water or coconut water or any other thing that you want to be putting it in, okay? It says to put it in 16 ounces of water. If you can tolerate doing it in 8 ounces of water, one of the gentlemen who had been using P84 when I talked with him at the convention, is he said if you can handle it in 8 ounces of water, it just enters the body not as diluted. And so the enzymes are not as diluted. And so they can actually set the gut to be a little bit more powerful. But if you can't handle it, it's a little bit thicker. And so if you just can't handle it, then go ahead and put it in the 16 ounces. But it's okay to do and then just the 8 ounces of water as well, okay? These are what really you should be kind of expecting. Remember that the cells of the liver, and I believe the cells of the whole entire digestive system, take about 6 months to replace all the cells that are in the digestive tract. That's pretty powerful. 6 months is how long it takes. So that's why in month 1 to 2, you can start to eliminate harmful bacteria, begin restoring that balance. So many people will notice that their bowel movements are larger. Not that you're running to the bathroom, not that it's not a diet, it's not a laxative, but it just more might be coming out. Okay. Then 3 and 4, you repopulate and diversify. Okay. And then that's you're really promoting that ideal microbiome. And then 5 to 6, you begin to improve the connection and optimize that gut body axis. And remember on that other slide, it showed all of the gut body axis that there is. So really be looking at that. But health definitely starts in the gut. So this is the activation company once again. And one other product that I just want to talk a little bit about, these are all the products we have, is our Axio. And Axio is really activated brain function. These are the ingredients that are in there. Once again, I love it that it doesn't overpower the nervous system, overpower the brain. It has the B vitamins, the DMAE, the L-theanine, the quercetin, the green tea extract, and some pine bark extract. And these are some of the effects that people have noticed with that brain function when they add Axio into their regimen. And so on the left-hand side, this is a child who is writing spelling words, and then 2 weeks after taking Protandim and Axio. You don't have to look at are the words spelled correctly. The most important thing is look at the organization. So the organization of the brain and also the eye-hand coordination really, really changed when we give the correct food to the brain. And also he was on Protandim. And so it's really helping to increase the antioxidants and getting the sludge out of the cells of the body. So this is profound. This is another one that was done actually by a brain researcher, Jeffrey Fannin. I'm going to just kind of quickly talk about that center part of it here, where he talks about in here, it's like almost when you give someone a word and they have like a squirrel thing going on in their brain. Well, again, after just 12 days, so about 2 weeks of taking Nerf 1, that mitochondrial activator, Nerf 2, which reduces the oxidative stress, and the Axio, you can just see in his thinking process how much more calm the brain was. And so I can't imagine trying to learn when your brain is jumbled all over like that. And so on the right hand side, you can just see that the brain is much more calm. And then he even had said that even his behaviors and everything were so much better. Okay, within there. So I know that this was lots and lots of information. And so where can you start? What I would say, if you're going to start anywhere, you start with Protandim NRF2. Okay. Now, the reason that I put the 3 up there is because if you're going to choose to only do Protandim NRF2 to keep your cells clean, it's more economical to buy a 3-pack than what it is to buy a single pack. So if you're going to go and to place your order, again, a 3-pack, you save quite a bit of money and then you're set for 3 months. Okay. The other thing is the Tri-Synergizer. So if you're looking at better cellular health, which is what Dr. Casey Means was talking about, then you want to do the Tri-Synergizer, okay? If you're looking more at the best skin health and cellular health, then you want to go with this Healthy Glow Stack. And when all I can comment on it is that actually when people start on the Healthy Glow Stack, they notice such huge differences in their cells and in the skins of the body that we actually have an 80+% customer retention. When people start on this, very, very rarely do they stop because they see such positive effects with it. Okay. Then if we want to look at the best cell and digestive health, it would be the Healthy Edge Stack. Okay. So they stack them together and you save when you buy more than one product in a stack together, you save money. Okay. Now, if you want the ultimate thing to really start with, this is the ultimate cell, skin, and digestion. And so what you want to do is you want to order the Healthy Edge Stack and then add the 30-pack of collagen in there. And then you really, really have this ultimate cell, skin, and digestive stack as well. So it's just profound what it can all do. But the reality of it is you can't go wrong. Okay, you can't go wrong when you're looking at the functional health of the cells, the functional health of the body. And so all I can say is just start. You just need to start at getting your cells healthy. You can choose any of these, but the reality of it is just start your health journey in a very positive way with proven products and a very, very reputable company. Okay, so just get started. And with that, I'm just going to turn it over to Tanya. So I thank you all for listening. I love educating, and I'm so happy that we have this gut activator.
Oh, I love you so much, Gloria. Thank you so much. I'm just going to end this with letting you know real quickly. When this was introduced to me in 2011, my husband had a lot of health issues, and it was protandem nerve 2 that first moved the dial on his health. And then little by little, then it was a trisynergizer. Then it was focusing on his metabolic health. Now it's focusing on his gut health. And my husband at 56 years old, he's said to me, like, I cannot believe that my body is capable of doing what it's doing. He thought that medications were his future. He'd been on them for most of his adult life. And today he's off most of them. And he is happier and healthier than I've ever seen him. And for me, this is just a monthly investment that I will continue to make so that I can have as much quality of life as I possibly can and be around for my future, for my children, for my grandchildren. Um, Activation is just so different. So I'm so grateful you got to hear this information tonight. Please, again, remember to get back to the person that invited you. They can give you more information and direct you in accordance to whether you want to be a customer, maybe look at doing this as a business, but also know if you're watching this now until the end of November, we do have our Black Friday sale happening right now. A lot of what you heard about tonight isn't involved in it, but there's so much you didn't hear about that we have available. Axio is involved. Our hair care, I love so much. There's so much that's 30% off the retail price and just such a gift. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Have a beautiful and wonderful Thanksgiving and God bless you. Thank you, Gloria.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all for listening.